I've got an extremely distinguished and esteemed guest before me right now, Dona Bertarelli. Dona, the founder, the co-founder and co-owner, co-skipper for Team Spindrift in various boats, a fleet of multi-hulls all over the international racing scene. Dona, welcome to the M32 Series.
Thank you, Alan.
Listen, I think you're not racing on the boat. Obviously, Jan Guichard, your fiancé, is the helmsman. And your longtime partner, but you've been following the racing, I know, quite a bit. I know you've been watching it at home, and I wonder, how do you feel about their chances for winning this series event?
Well, I hope they're going to do well. You know, we arrived in the series being really humble. You know, Jan is not a match racer expert. He came here saying, well, you know, I know the boat, I know how to sail multi-hull. Let's see, how it goes. And actually, it went pretty well. He managed to climb up the semifinals every time, but not, claim for the title. Now, whether he's going to be able to pull this off in Marstrand for the final, I hope for him. It would be a good result for the team. But if he doesn't, it's the same. We had a fantastic series, and we're very happy to be here.
Were you surprised at all to see how quickly Jan seemed to adapt to the match racing?
No, I'm not surprised, because he's very good at adapting quite quickly to new formats, new racing. It's really in the DNA also of the team. We like to put ourselves in different configuration, learn new things, and take it from there. So, no, I'm not surprised.
Maybe not everybody knows that Dona is not only a patron of a racing team like many wealthy owners around the world, but you are a hands-on racer. And I think more importantly, you are the fastest woman around the world. That's a pretty amazing title. You've also won the Swiss Sailor of the Year. You've been the first woman to win the Bol d'Or Mirabeau. I mean, you've done just about everything you can do at high speed at the very highest level, and I think set a role model, an inspiration for women and girls in sailing, especially with your Lady Cat program. Do you see this kind of racing, the World Match Racing Tour, big prize money professional racing, as something that is feasible for women, something that you might be interested in or other women should be interested in?
I think there is space in the sports for women, definitely. And I think I've proved it. I've done it with the Lady Cat team. The girls of Team SCA have done it on the Volvo Ocean race. Team Magenta, the same girls are continuing to try to promote the sport of sailing in women. Definitely there is space. What we are missing, it's more women, more competences, and being able to sail in all kinds of different supports, and different formats. That's what women really miss. And what they miss above all, it's sponsors. And sponsors need to trust that a woman's team or a woman's skipper can make a difference. And actually, I was really sad when I learned that the Team SCA was not continuing, because I couldn't understand it, because they not only sailed fantastically well and proved that they could be right there, up there, but the best teams had done 2, 3, 4 Volvo Ocean race. It was their first one. So for a first attempt, it was really, really good what they did. And then communication-wise,
huge win.
I mean, they stealed the show. Huge success. And then you see a sponsor that doesn't follow through, that's really a shame. And with my Lady Cat, people have told me, oh, why you have not continued? It's true, I've not continued sailing with women and having a women's team. I've done that for 6, 7 years, and I'm proud that if you look at Billy Besson and Marie Rioux, which are world champions, several-time world champions, they met on Lady Cat, they were sailing for me. Nathalie Brugger, the same thing. The girl didn't know nothing about multi-hull. Now she goes on for the Olympics on the NACRA. Justine Métro, when she left Lady Cat, she found a sponsor, Teamwork. Then she went to do the Mini Transat, then the Volvo Ocean race, second place. Elodie Métro, the sister, same thing. She's still with Team Magenta. Liz Wardley, the same. She was with Lady Cat. So I'm proud of what I've done. But at one point, I felt that the project was a school, and my ambitions was not to run a school, and I wanted to learn myself, and I needed to learn myself, and I wanted to, in order to bring something new, I needed to learn myself and be able to to helm and improve. And so I had to bring men in because you don't have that expertise in women. And that's, it's the truth, And so that's how you went about. Now, whether one day I will sponsor again a whole women's team and do something with them, I'm thinking about it. And I'm interested, and I'm thinking even of, how I could support Team Magenta in some ways or another, or giving them some opportunities. But the sports needs more women, and there's space for more women. So I'm happy to see that on the M32, they're there, and they're sailing well. They do.
I know a lot of us would like to see you at the helm as well. I mean, even something low pressure like the M32 Series, not quite as important as the Tour, racing against your soon-to-be husband. I mean, that would be a great story. It would be fun, wouldn't it?
It would be fun, but these guys are super competitive, and they're professional. It's their life, and they sail every day of their life. I don't. Okay, even if people say you're a professional sailor, I'm not a professional sailor. This is not my job. I have another job at home. So if you want to be good, you got to train. There's no secrets. And if you want to train, you have to dedicate your time. And these past years, I've dedicated 3 years of my time to prepare for the Jules Verne, for the Around the World. And I had to compromise a lot on the family, a lot, for my business. And this year I said, that I was going to take it easy and be a bit more often at home, and maybe, don't know, maybe next year I'll be able to do more things again.
Next year I hear a rumor that there'll be an M32 World Championship, but kind of an open World Championship, so a mix of amateur owner drivers, and I don't know, I can hope, right?
Let's
I would
see.
love to
Why
see
not?
Lady Cat colors out here on the M32. That'd be pretty fun.
Let's see.
Okay, I'll stop with the sales pitch. As you said, you've spent all this time working toward the Jules Verne. You missed it by a very small margin last time around. I mean, that had to be heartbreaking, especially as you weren't just, as I said, an owner. You were driving the boat, and I'm told you're an excellent driver offshore. You were doing amazing things as a guy who works on boats offshore and does media. You were downstairs writing in the Southern Ocean, and that's the most miserable thing you can do. It's the most horrible job ever, is damp, wet, cold, crashing through waves, and you're trying to look at a computer screen. But you were doing that for hours a day, sat phones with the press. I mean, that had to be one of the most disappointing things ever, is all that effort and missing it by just a short amount of time.
Not really, actually. No, not really, because I'm not the type of competitor that strives for the title or to hold the cup in my hands. To me, how we get there, how we do things, the experience you can build are as important as having the cup in your hand. And I'm happy. I would have been disappointed. The toughest moment to me is when we broke the foil. And during that night, for a couple of hours, we thought that we needed to abandon and rally Australia to repair. That was heartbreaking. I said, it's not possible. You can't work 3 years, and I mean, I know it's the sports and I know that can happen, but that was the toughest thing. To miss the record, sure, I was disappointed, but you see it come, because after the Cape Horn, you have 7 days visibility on your weather, and we knew what was coming ahead of us. And then you can always hope that, okay, you have the next 7 days which are bad, but then maybe you might have pretty good weather after that, and then you can catch up. But we could see it as the days were passing. We could see that it was getting thinner and thinner. The chances were going away. So mentally, you get prepared to that.
Yeah.
So once you arrive, it's a done deal. But I was really proud and happy that we actually went around it and we finished, because out of 22 attempts, I think only 4 boats managed to finish. Besides the ones which have broke the records. Besides those ones, only 4 boats, which is us, IDEC, and 2 others, which I don't remember now, but I think it was Kersozon and maybe another, that actually went around the world and finished it. So it's already, it's already something.
Yeah. With all this effort that the Spindrift team has put into the GC32 now, the M32, the DM24, all the different boats that you've had over the years, and the big boat, obviously, you've built a pretty amazing team of guys. I mean, they've known each other forever. They're all real specialists in their area. They've got great communication. They really trust each other. It's a real family. Is this building towards something bigger? Is this, could we see maybe the first ever female-owned challenge for the America's Cup under the name Spindrift?
No, no, I don't think so.
No, okay.
You know, I lived through, really, and I really lived through the America's Cup for 10 years following my brother, even though I had nothing to do in the team of Alinghi. I was just a fan and part of the fan club. You know, it's a different kind of engagement. Yeah. You know, it's a total different ball game, and I know what it costs. You know, what it costs financially and what it costs mentally and emotionally. Now, this is me, okay? Now, obviously for Jan, he's a sailor, you know, and any sailor, you know, even, you know, the sailors in our team, or you ask any sailor, if you tell them, well, I'll give you a ticket for the America's Cup tomorrow morning, they'll take it.
Of course.
They'll take it. You know, it's the dream of, you know, there isn't anything better than that. But as a owner and you know,
You do this for love.
Yes, and you know, it's a different ball game.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Speaking of Alinghi and other D35 teams and other great teams around the world, I mean, Alinghi and your brother, one of the most important people in the history of the America's Cup, the first one to take it to Europe, the first one to do a lot of things with it, create the 2007 Cup and all these things. You know, I know Morgan's who's been helming Alinghi for a while. I know Morgan's been watching this stuff and is very interested. I know a lot of the Swiss and French teams very interested. Do you think we'll see some of them come over now that we see how competitive this M32 racing is and how exciting it is?
Yes, for sure.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, I'm sure, because the format is amazing, the organization is amazing. But besides that, I think also, you know, multi-hull has become the boat. Yeah. You know, in basically anything that we're seeing. We're seeing it in America's Cup, in match racing, in you know offshore. You know, we're seeing it, and it was something that was very French before, and now it has become international. So you're going to have more and more teams coming to the multi-hull, and then after the America's Cup, you're going to have all those teams. They're going to want to go and play somewhere, and I think the World Match Racing Tour is going to be the place to be. You know, I'm pretty sure. You know, and it's the place where the level is quite high. It's going to continue to become higher and higher, and you want that challenge, you know. And the format is amazing to keep you alert, you know, and to keep you into the game.
Tell me about the origin of the word Spindrift, if you know it, and why you chose it for your team.
A Spindrift is you know, when there's force 8 wind, and you have that water that's blown on top of the, you know, of the waves, and
foam kind of.
The foam.
Yeah.
And it's the same when you have, you know, on the snow, or when you have an avalanche, you know, or, you know, it's the snow that blows into your face. And I come from the mountains, and Jan comes from the sea. And that word really, it's kind of both of us, you know, our both elements, the snow and the water.
As someone with a wife who sails, I know it's probably many sailors' dreams to go do something amazing like sail around the world for a record with your partner, with your lover, you know. But I know there's plenty of men in the world and plenty of sailors that would say, hey, oh my God, I would never want to do that. Tell me about what it's like to share that experience with your partner.
You know, we have a fantastic relationship because we understand each other, you know, on you know, instinct. You know, it's like more like instinct almost. You know, he doesn't need to talk to me to know if there's something that's bothering him, and the same, you know, as far as I'm concerned. And we have a huge trust to each other. And you know, Jan is really the person that gave me confidence that I was able to do this. I didn't know if I was going to be capable, and he always thought that I could. But obviously, until I was on the maxi and spent those nights, that I realized, yeah, actually he was right. I can do this, you know, and I feel good at sea. You know, I'm not sick. You know, I don't suffer from the environment, and doesn't scare me. I'm not scared, and you know, and this trust and this communication that we have among each other, it's just amazing. You know, it's we get into fights more often over a pizza, you know, who's gonna clean the kitchen, or who's gonna, you know, I don't know, wake up the kids or walk the dog, than actually when we're on a boat. You know, there's none of that, you know, and we really understand each other perfectly well. So it's great. Yeah, I guess I'm lucky.
We're lucky to have you here for sure, and lucky to have Team Spindrift here. Dona Bertarelli, the fastest woman around the world, and just a lioness in the sport of sailing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alan. Thanks.